The person that first discovered drinking cow's milk probably has quite a lot of explaining to do. This is Brainspill, my name is Tank, and today's video is quite straightforward. I'm going to stand here and have an entire video of giving you shower thoughts. Just something to mull over when you're in the shower. Before we jump in, if you like the video, be sure to subscribe to never miss an upload. If time travel were possible, historians would need a no peeking rule to keep the past unbiased. The early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Timing is everything. If procrastination was an Olympic sport, we would all be gold medalists eventually. You have never seen a full movie from start to finish, because I imagine you blink all the way through. The moment you realise your pet doesn't speak your language is a humbling, one-sided conversation. What if we are all Sims characters for a greater being to control our every moves? If so, then damn, at least I've not been placed in the pool and had the stairs removed. If you go somewhere that sells pizza by the slice, you're essentially having a pizza party with a bunch of strangers. I before E except after C is a rule so weird, it's practically an exception. Life is a series of moments interrupted by bathroom breaks. Only one sock goes missing because if both did, you wouldn't even notice. It's a fact that most people won't like and share this video. Prove me wrong. The best part about dancing like no one's watching is that no one is watching. Which orange came first, the colour or the fruit? If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, she probably wouldn't have left it behind. I'm not gonna lie, this one sat with me for a long time. It makes perfect sense. Clapping your hands, it's just high-fiving yourself. If money doesn't buy happiness, then why does pizza and chocolate exist? Most horror movies stop being scary when the monster is shown for the first time. If tomatoes are fruit, then ketchup surely must be a jam. If for whatever reason that time travel ever became possible, someone would have to go back in the past to prove that it's impossible. If laughter is contagious, then stand-up comedians are super spreaders. Looking at you, Michael McIntyre. If Cinderella's fairy godmother had Google, the story would be significantly shorter. I'm pretty sure that urinals were created because there was one tall guy that walked into the bathroom, looked at the sink and thought, yeah, I could do that. Life lesson, if you can't be good at anything, then at least be a memorable warning to people. Every cloud, folks, every cloud. You can always choose to permanently blind yourself by going outside and just staring at the sun. I would not recommend this, dear viewer, mind you. Peer pressure is looking outside and seeing your neighbour has mowed the grass. Jeez. Are those who sneeze a lot just more blessed than the rest of us? The only thing more mysterious than dark matter is the disappearance of single socks. You have probably made a decision in your life that has saved your life, and you don't even know it. If life is a highway, then rush hour is the bumper-to-bumper reality check. Why do we call it a building if it's already built? Shouldn't we just call it a building? The world's tallest person has been the height of every other person in existence at some point during their life. There are only 2 days in your life that don't have 24 hours. People always remember their own most embarrassing moments, but never anyone else's. Your future self is talking crap about you. I know this is true because I'm doing the exact same thing right now to my previous self. No, don't eat that. No, don't say that. Why are you being so cringy? Isn't abbreviation such a long word for what it actually means? When you drink alcohol, you're just borrowing happiness from tomorrow morning. Life is like a movie, except with not enough sequels and too many reboots. Isn't a book just a long tweet with a good plot? The only thing that flat earthers have to fear is fear itself. Parallel lines have so much in common, it's a shame that they'll never meet. In an alternate universe, people probably get offended by compliments. Do vampires get cavities since they only drink blood and not sugary drinks? Teenagers drive like they're on borrowed time. Meanwhile, elderly people drive like they've got all the time in the world. So, why is it called fast food when you gotta wait in line for 10 minutes and then you eat it in 2? If ghosts can pass through walls, then why don't they just fall through the floor? Isn't sleeping just a free trial for being dead? Even when a balloon is half inflated, it is completely full. The best place to hide something is in plain sight, like a sock in the laundry. My question is, why do we press harder on the remote control when it's running out of batteries? Can you daydream at night? Every broken clock tells you the exact time that it passed away. If aliens are watching us, the least we can do is put on a good reality TV show. Shampoo companies must secretly love long hair. It's just more product testing. Isn't kale just a 4-letter word for the word spinach? Crabs probably think that fish can fly. We pass the anniversary of our death every year without even knowing it. If we evolved from monkeys, then why do we still have monkeys? We will never truly know what the smell of being underwater is like. Every human who has ever lived has seen the same sun and moon in the sky. If James Bond is the most famous spy, wouldn't that make him the worst spy ever? There was once a time where you were the single youngest person on Earth at that moment. I mean, that very quickly changed when someone else was born just after you, but even for a glancing moment, that was you. If ignorance is bliss, some people must be on cloud 9. I wonder if when you die you see a highlight reel of your own life, and if you can measure statistics, such as how many times you use the bathroom. Like a Spotify Wrapped, but just for poop instead. Isn't vegetarian an old Native American word for bad hunter? If time is money, then an ATM is a time machine? Look, it simply won't be long until people start using the 20s and 30s and 40s to describe the 2020s, the 2030s, and the 2040s. Christ, I'm old. If practice makes perfect, and nobody's perfect, then why practice? Isn't a baby's laughter just their way of saying, I get the joke? Remember when teachers used to say, you'll never be walking around with a calculator in your pocket? Well, look at us now. Nothing is ever on fire. Fire is just on things. Isn't dark chocolate just chocolate that's seen some pretty gnarly things in their life? If money doesn't grow on trees, then why do banks have branches? If our knees bent the other way, what would chairs look like? Does a straw have one hole or two? Isn't a traffic jam just a game of musical chairs with absolutely no winners? Fire trucks are really just water trucks. At one point in your life, you were exactly pi years old. If I had $1 for every time I'd been told to get a job, I wouldn't need a job. Millions of people are doing the exact same thing as you right now. Yeah, you sat there watching the YouTube videos. The only time that incorrectly isn't spelled incorrectly is when it's spelt correctly. Mirrors don't break, they multiply. Look, we always name our pets and dogs certain things, but what did your pet name you? There is a number so big that nobody has ever thought of it, spoken it, or written it down. If you are born deaf, what language do you think in? If you can't convince them, then confuse them. The motto of instruction manuals. Isn't exercise just a prolonged form of complaining about being fat? In order to fall asleep, we have to pretend that we're falling asleep. If aliens are real, then do they have conspiracy theories about us? Light bulbs were such a good invention that they've been used to depict when someone has a good idea. Someone's mother probably used you as a bad example for her kids. Water bottles don't produce water. They produce plastic bottles. When we were young, we used to sneak out of our houses and go to parties. Now we're old, we sneak out of the parties to go back home. Isn't the brain just the universe trying to understand itself with varying degrees of success? If swimming is good for your shape, then why do whales look the way they do? Your stomach thinks that all potatoes are mashed. Isn't fake news just a grown-up version of saying, my dog ate my homework? If you drop a bar of soap on the floor, is the soap dirty or the floor clean? Your salary is your company's monthly subscription fee to you. What if oxygen was actually poisonous and it took an entire lifetime to kill us? Isn't decaf coffee just a cup of lies and broken dreams? And another one on the knees front. If our knees bend the other way, then what would bicycles look like? I mean, we've had chairs, why not go full whammy? Isn't jogging just a really slow, dignified shuffle? If we play Monopoly but nobody buys a house, we all get richer and nobody loses. We all leave without having destroyed our families in the process also. If money talks, then mine only knows one word: goodbye. You can never remember the moment right before you go to sleep. A baby's first Christmas will always happen before their first birthday. And finally, isn't the word unbreakable just a challenge for you to prove your strength? And that's it, just something a little bit different on the channel. If you enjoyed it, let me know and I might make some more. If you guys enjoyed that video, here's another one just like it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.